Hi, today we will go from the ABC to security best practices so that you never hard code your AI secrets. A quick round of applause for you for choosing to watch this instead of endless reads. Let's build securely and get started for today's video. First of all, let's understand how you or your application can connect to a powerful AI model. Think of it as a conversation between your app and AI brain. AI brain is model. Alright, I'll walk you through an example using a very popular AI community, Hugging Face, which has a lot of models and datasets available. Just like a restaurant needs to know you have a reservation, APIs need to know you are allowed to access them. That's where the API key comes in. Secondly, is your chef. Chef is the one doing all the hard work. And who is doing all the hard work in our example? The model. And the name of the actual AI model that we are using is from DeepSeek. You can see the name on the screen. It's DeepSeek Prover version 2 671B. It is developed by DeepSeek and it's hosted on Hugging Face. You can think of this model as the brain that's going to process your request and generate a response. Now let's talk about endpoint. For example, there are waiters in a restaurant and they are the ones who are delivering you your dish. Similarly, there is this API URL which we'll be talking about. It is your Hugging Face's router endpoint. It's just like your waiter in a restaurant. You don't talk to the chef directly. Instead, you hand your order, which is your prompt, to the waiter, which is your API, and they make sure it gets to the right chef. In this case, your model. Model does all the work and sends the answer back via that same API route. Let's look at a live example, but this would be a bad example, a less secure way of doing things. In this snippet, I am sending a prompt to an AI model hosted on Hugging Face. We define the API endpoint, pass in an API key for authentication, and then craft a simple payload asking what is the capital of France. We send this data using a post request, and if the model responds successfully, we print out the answer. The model being used here is DeepSeek's model, DeepSeek Prover V2C 671B, and the API key is hard-coded, which, as you will see next, is exactly what we want to avoid for security reasons. Okay, let's just run this code. There you go. Here is the response. Let's talk a little bit about security now. In the batch script, we were making an API call using an API key that was hard-coded. In this script, we are making sure API call to Hugging Face's inference router, and the key part is how we handle the API key securely. Instead of hard coding the key in my source code, which is risky and can lead to accidental exposure, we store it in AWS Secrets Manager, which is a managed service designed to safely store information like your API keys and passwords. We use Boto3 library to fetch the secret at runtime, keeping it out of our code base and version control. Once we have the key, we build the request headers with proper authentication and send a post request to the Hugging Face endpoint asking a simple question, which we also did earlier: what is the capital of France? This method not only keeps secrets out of the code, but also makes key rotation easier and audit logging possible, all of which are best practices in secure software development. The response is then passed, and if everything goes well, we print out the model's answer. Now let's run the code and see if the answer is printed or not. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. Happy learning, and follow for more videos on AI security.